welcome to another episode of I Remember Vlog. My name is Joseph. In today's episode, I just want to share a quick reflection on a memory a recollection I had yesterday. I was working on some devotional reflections and typing all these articles, and then there was a point in time where I typed one that I had to use the word hostile, HOSTILE, hostile. And immediately I typed the word, a memory came with it. And this happened a couple of decades ago. I was in secondary school or high school, as some will call it. And we had this holiday coaching. And so we were in between one class and the next class. And we're having all these lessons that we went to school to receive. And we had a particular teacher then that was teaching us English, but it wasn't the same English teacher I had in my previous class. So this was like my first exposure to his style of teaching and things like that. And there is something striking about this man. He's one of those people that, sorry to say, but if you're looking at them, you can't exactly tell where they are looking at. So he's got like crossed eyes. So even his emotions sometimes is difficult to read. He's one of those people basically that it's difficult to read their face. So he gave us a short test. We're supposed to give either synonyms or antonyms of a few words, which he wrote on the board. And this was more or less like an open book test in the sense that it was actually literally giving us the answers. So we would mention the word, try to describe it so that we can then go ahead to write what synonyms or antonyms came to mind. But when he got to the word hostile and he started describing this word that meant, according to him, something about being unwelcoming, I thought that he was being sarcastic on the one hand or just trying to be funny to intentionally mislead us. Because I thought I knew what hostile meant. I thought hostile comes from the word host. And so to be hostile must mean to be a good host. So you've got to be welcoming, definitely, and friendly and loving and, a people person kind of. But he kept describing this word that meant exactly the opposite of what I thought hostile should mean. And rather than going by his words, I went by reading his face and thought, no, I think this face is telling me he's being sarcastic, he's being funny. It's like, this is too cheap for you to not know, so let me kind of play a prank on you on this one. To cut to the chase, I failed that particular question. I didn't know how I did with the rest, but that particular one stuck with me. And as I recollected that, or had that recollection yesterday, a passage in the scripture came to mind, and that's Proverbs 31 about the virtuous woman. And verse 30 says, amongst other things, that reading from the Passion Translation, it says, charm can be misleading, and beauty is vain, and so quickly fades. But this virtuous woman lives in the wonder, the awe, and the fear of the Lord, and she will be praised throughout eternity. But emphasis on the first part, to put it in a paraphrase. The Passion Translation is more or less a paraphrase in and of itself. But basically saying that to assess a woman by just looking at the physical appearance can be misleading. Charm, their beauty, their shape, and all of that it doesn't tell the whole story. Just like my teacher's face, my English teacher's face didn't tell me the whole story. Rather than going for the face, how about you go for the words that is hopefully coming from the abundance of the heart? Bible says, out of the abundance, Jesus speaking, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And again, of course, of this virtuous woman, actually in verse 26, it was said of her in those kind of terms that her teachings, what she says with her mouth, her teachings are filled with wisdom and kindness, as loving instructions pours from her lips. In the New Century Version, of that same verse, it says that she speaks wise words and she teaches others to be kind. She speaks wise words and she teaches others to be kind. In other words, you don't know a virtuous woman by looking at the physical parameters of the facial expression, the Mary Kay that is on fleek, the number of followers he or she, of course, to be a virtuous woman that she has on social media, and all of those different expressions of filtered lives that we live. Rather, you can judge who a virtuous woman is if only you could have access to the heart. To the heart. And while part of how to do that is to listen to their words, we also know that people can say things that they don't mean. And so where I'm going really is to get a virtuous woman, to find a virtuous woman. In fact, this long poem begins in verse 10 by asking, who can find a virtuous woman? As though it's an impossible task. To find a virtuous woman is to find the one who knows what's in the heart and have so much tremendous intentional fellowship with that one that it can lead you aright about what is in the hearts of people beyond what they're saying or beyond what they look like. And that's the thought I want to leave us with. Especially this finds application in choosing a life partner. And this doesn't only apply to women, both genders. Before you get swayed or swept off your feet by virtue of the guy's, bank account balance and career prospect and all of this kind of physical parameters, or even the biceps and the triceps and the shape of the hairstyle and the mustache and the smooth skin and all of those physical parameters, you want to really, really press pause and let the one who knows the heart be the one that is having the final say. And that's the thought I want to just leave us with. That you can't judge by the face, you can't judge by the physical parameters by which we tend to quickly make conclusions. In 7 seconds, psychologists say you can tell so much about a person. Maybe, or maybe not. Because the heart of man is desperately wicked. Who can know it? Jeremiah asks. And the answer to the who is God. So let him lead you and let him guide you. God bless you. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.